Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back again to the channel. If it's your first time stopping by, my name is Billericay and you are most definitely welcome. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my house hunting experience. If you guys don't know, I recently moved houses, and baby, let me tell you for free that house hunting is so expensive. House hunting is so stressful. House hunting is not fun at all, and house hunting is my least favorite adult activity ever. Anyways, yeah, if you want to know more about that, then please keep on watching. If you guys don't know me, my name is Billericay. I would love to have you over here, so please do well to hit that subscribe button down below to join this family. Give this video a massive thumbs up. Share this video with everyone who cares to watch it. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And without further ado, we're gonna jump right into the video. Now, the first thing I wanted to say is that you guys, we moved out of London and we now live in Essex. And that's because the cost of living in London was just too much. I'm sorry, it was doing the most and it wasn't giving the vibe. Like, no. The best thing about living in Essex is that it is literally a stone throw away from London. So even though I work in London, even though my husband works in London, it's not inconvenient for us to go to work. Do you understand what I mean? We are very, very happy to go to work even though we live in Essex, and we don't feel the need to look for another job in Essex. So let's talk about all the houses that we saw, the criteria that we had in terms of house hunting. And yeah, the first thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to upsize. So if you guys don't know, we're living in a 2-bed apartment before, and before then we were living in a studio. So basically we moved from a studio flat to a 2-bed apartment, and we were looking to upsize to either a 3 or a 4-bed apartment. Reason being that someone is always going to be with us per time because we now have the baby. So someone is always going to be with us per time to look after the baby, and we wanted that person to have a comfortable room. And also my daughter's room as well. So basically it was supposed to be our room, me and my husband's room, the visitor's room, my daughter's room. Basically that's the arrangement. And then the 4th room, if we did eventually end up getting a 4-bed house, was supposed to be an office space for me and my husband, because many times my husband works from home and he needs to sit up. You know, it just makes your workflow better when you are in like an office type of space, and that was the reason. So our hardcore criteria for this house after living in our previous house was that we wanted a house that was much more spacious than the previous house. So our first criteria was space. We wanted something very spacious. Second criteria was we wanted a nice kitchen, emphasis on nice kitchen, because our previous house kitchen was really small. It was an open plan kitchen, and although I didn't initially mind open plan kitchen, after living in a house that had open plan kitchen, I quickly realized that as an African who cooks African food, open plan kitchen is not the best. So we were looking for something that wasn't really open plan and something that was big enough. That's the second criteria. Third criteria that we had was that we wanted it to have a dryer, because our previous house, although it had a washing machine, it didn't have a dryer, and that was a headache for us. Anytime we wanted to dry clothes, we had to spread them inside the house. It was not nice at all. We didn't like that. So we wanted a house that had a dryer. The fourth thing we wanted was a house that had a dishwasher, because our previous house didn't have a dishwasher, and washing dishes, baby, it's not cute. So we wanted a house that had a dishwasher. And then last but not the least is we wanted a house that was very bright and airy. Now, the not so hardcore criteria for us was basically a house that was either a 3 or a 4-bed house. We didn't really mind. It could be either 3 or 4 bed. So we're quite flexible with that. Oh, I forgot to mention, for the hardcore criteria, we wanted a house that had more than 1 toilet, because we had lived in a house that had only 1 toilet, and we quickly realized that that wasn't working. Okay, it wasn't working. Anyways, the not so hardcore criteria was we didn't mind either a 3 or 4-bed apartment or house. Another hardcore criteria that we had was basically we wanted a place with a garden, because we wanted my daughter and our children that are not yet born to be able to play outside basically and not feel like they have to stay indoors all the time. So somewhere that they could basically go outside to play, and that's why we were prioritizing a house over a flat, because if it was a flat then the garden wouldn't really just be our garden, and I don't know how I feel about letting my child play in a communal garden. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, that's just it. Moving on to the not so hardcore criteria. For us, the not so hardcore criteria was the house could be either a 3 or a 4 bed house. If it ended up being a 3-bed house, then I could use my room or the living room as an office space. And then another not so hardcore criteria was the house having more than 1 bathroom. Even though we prioritized having definitely more than 1 toilet, we didn't prioritize having more than 1 bathroom. So another not so hardcore criteria was location, because we were really flexible on location as long as it was within a commutable distance to my work and to my husband's work. So all of that was our not so hardcore criteria. Now, with that being said, these are the houses that we saw. I think we saw about 6 or 7 houses, and I recorded all of them. I'm gonna put the clips of those houses here so you guys can see. And yeah, that is what this video is going to be about. So if that sounds like something you want to watch, please keep on watching. So guys, this is the first apartment that we viewed, and this one was on the market for £1,790 per calendar month. It was a nice apartment, 3-bedroom apartment, and this right here is the living room that you see. Now, initially I thought I was like in love with this house, but then after exploring it a bit further, I realized that this house, although it looked big mostly because it was empty, and by the time we started filling things with our furniture, it will start to look cramped. This is supposed to be like the dining area, and now I'm taking you into the hallway and we are at the kitchen. This is what the kitchen looks like. It was an okay sized kitchen, but I thought it was a bit tight, and unfortunately it didn't have the garden. It had this terraced patio thing, and I don't know how I feel about that. So I wasn't really feeling it like that. But yeah, this is what the white goods looked like. It had the washer and the dryer, which was very important for me, like I told you guys in the beginning of this video. And it also had a decent sized fridge freezer, as well as the dishwasher, which was another really nice thing that we liked about this property. So this is what the kitchen looked like, and that's the cooker. And this right here is the storage thing that a lot of British houses have. You can just keep a lot of random bits and bobs in there. And now we're going upstairs into the rooms. Now, getting upstairs, I was a bit disappointed with this room. This 3rd room was so small, and it's funny because you can see from the room that there's no storage in the room. So by the time you put some form of storage, all the space has been occupied, and that's less than ideal. Again, it only had this 1 bathroom and toilet. It was like the family bathroom and toilet. So if you had guests or visitors, they'd have to come upstairs to use the toilet. And honestly, I was just tired of guests using the main toilet, because in our current house, the guests use our main toilet, and that's just it's not giving. So I really wanted something different, like a guest toilet at the barest minimum, even if we couldn't get like 2 toilets. But then this is the 2nd room. I thought this was the master bedroom, but it turns out it's actually not, but it's a decent size, and I'm not mad at this. It's just there was no form of storage whatsoever. And then this is the master bedroom, very big. I really liked it. The amount of sunlight that entered into this house was giving, and I'm absolutely here for it. I absolutely loved the amount of lighting that got into this house, but again, no storage, and that was a big no for me. This second house was giving. Oh my god, this house was so beautiful. Just take a look at the entrance. Like, are you joking? See the driveway, everything. It was so nice. Anyways, do you know the funny thing is, we actually put in an offer for this house immediately we saw it, and it was the 2nd house that we viewed, but we failed the referencing, and I'm going to go into details about that a bit later. But anyways, we didn't pass the referencing. That's the reason we didn't get the house. But this is the master bedroom. You can see how big this bedroom is. Even the amount of storage it had was quite nice. And also the fact that it had its own personal bathroom and toilet, which I'm going to be showing you very shortly. But again, it had a good amount of storage, and I'm definitely here for it. That is the bathroom and toilet right there. It was a standing shower. To be honest, it was quite cramped, but half bread is better than moi moi. And when you live in England, you realize that half bread truly is better than moi moi. The bathroom was okay. It wasn't the greatest bathroom in the world, but we'll manage. Anyways, down to the hallway, and on this side we have the family bathroom. Now take a look at how big this bathroom is. Like, tell me, if it was you, wouldn't you put in an offer for this house? It was so good. And straight ahead, we also had a utility room. Did I forget to tell you that this house was a bit more expensive? It is a 4-bedroom house, and it was priced at £2,100 per calendar month. Now you see that in that utility room, it had the washer and dryer, which was a dream, baby. That was a dream come true. And this was supposed to be the study. Really nice, I must tell you. Like, you can see it does what it's supposed to do. It's quite small, to be honest, but I'm not even mad at it at all. And then here is the living room. Can you guys see how big it is? Like, it's literally sprawling. And when you live in England, you realize that houses like this are quite massive, especially the kitchen. Like, it had this American double door fridge freezer, everything that I ever wanted in a kitchen. I was sold immediately. We even told the lady we're ready. Unfortunately, we didn't get the house, boo. But anyways, look at this garden, you guys. Can you please take a look at this garden and just take a moment to soak it in? I already had so many dreams. My daughter's birthday, I thought I was going to have in this garden because it was just so beautiful. Also, the fact that it had this little shed thing where you could keep like random bits and bobs. I really loved that about the house. Like, inside the house could be really tidy because you had this shed that you could just keep random bits and bobs. I thought it was genius. And it was just, in fact, I don't even know, I was just sold. I feel kind of sad that we didn't get this house, to be honest, because this was my number one choice. But I'm really glad with the house we eventually ended up getting. But again, this is like a little boys' quarters area. I already thought, damn, this is gonna be my YouTube studio, especially after watching Patricia Bright's house tour video, and she has like something like this in her back garden. I just thought, I'm inspired by Patricia Bright. This is going to be my YouTube studio. Unfortunately, again, like I said, we didn't get the house. But let me take you guys inside so that you can see the rest of the house. The only thing that I know for sure that I didn't really fancy about this house was this staircase, because it was a bit narrow, to be honest, just a tad bit narrow. And here you go, these are the rooms in the house. Again, it had built-in storage. You see that little door over there? That's actually storage for this room, and the room was a decent size. So again, I'm not mad at this at all. Like, literally, I'm not. And then that skylight thing over there was a really nice touch. Then it had another room. This room was also a decent size. I just felt like this house was giving everything it needs to give. To be honest, you know what, I'm gonna stop sulking about the fact that we didn't get the house and just move on. But this is the upstairs bathroom and toilet. Again, the skylights, really a nice touch, and the bathroom was an okay size. I'm not mad at it at all. But yeah, I think we have touched base on everything about this house. I was sold, absolutely sold. Moving on to the third property of the day. This house was quite nice, actually, especially the outside. And the funny thing is, when you see the outside of this house, you think it's so big, but it's actually not that big, except for the kitchen, which was the biggest part of the house. Thankfully, it did have a guest toilet, which, like I told you guys, is really important to me. So I was really glad about that. I'm just going to zoom out so you guys can appreciate the details a bit more. But this is what the toilet looks like. And this right here is the living room space. It's so small. It was less than ideal for me, because I just felt once we put our furniture, everything's taken up, like there's no more space. But when you move on, you see that it's got a bit more storage. It's like a coat corner where you could keep your coats and all them random bits and bobs, especially during the winter. But do you see how massive this kitchen is? Like, it is so big, and I really love the fact that there was not too much going on. Unfortunately, in the utility room, there was no washer or dryer, so that means that you'd have to get that yourself. And when I did like quick math, it meant I was going to spend almost £1,000. I'm like, bro, no thank you, I unsubscribed from this package. But it did have the washer dryer, and it was gas, and it had the fridge, so that's lovely, and I'm glad for that. But again, the fact that the utility room was empty was just a bit, no, it was a turn off for me. But can we take a minute to appreciate the garden? It's quite nice. I mean, it had the patio corner, and then you actually had like a garden space. And when you walk just down, you'd see that it had that little shed thing, which in comparison to the previous house that we viewed, it's not that big, to be honest, but it's better than nothing. It was an okay size, and it didn't have like the little boys quarters thing in the house that I really wanted. But again, this one's not bad at all. Now I'm gonna just take you guys upstairs to appreciate the rooms. Now we're back in the house, and again, we've got some storage under the staircase, which is nice. But what is this room? Like, I need some answers. What is this room? Even the estate agent wasn't sure, because surely this cannot be a bedroom. Are you joking? Stop it. Even if I wanted to use it as a study, it was still too small. But anyways, we move up the stairs and we get to the top floor, which had 3 rooms. Now, this property was on the market for £1,900 per calendar month. Remember, you guys, I told you that we're now in Essex, so it's much cheaper than London, but it's still quite expensive. That 3rd room was a joke. It was so small. And this is the master's bed. The master bedroom had its own bathroom and toilet, which is also really nice. I love the fact that it was ensuite, so at least you don't have to share your bathroom and toilet. But again, there was no storage anywhere, meaning that once you put a cupboard or 2, that's the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, you don't even have space to walk about, and like, just the proportions were just not really giving what I wanted it to give. But moving on into the 3rd room, this is what the 3rd room looked like. Again, no storage whatsoever, and I just wasn't really feeling it like that. Do you know what I mean? Moving on into the family bathroom, this is what it looks like. It does what it's supposed to do, nothing too fantastic, but yeah. The 3rd property that we viewed was this one, and you know what's funny is that this property was so big and spacious. It was on the market for £2,250 per month. It was actually a GP surgery that was renovated and converted to be a residential property, so you would find that the architecture of the property is just a bit odd, but that's the reason. It's because it was supposed to be a GP surgery. This property had 4 bedrooms, and it was quite nice. And the first thing you'd see when you're walking is just this bathroom and toilet, which was supposed to be like a guest bathroom. It was under renovation, just in case you see lots of bits and bobs. The reason why we didn't really like this property, to be honest, was because of all the awkward and odd wallpapers. And it wasn't just, I mean, I liked it, but the wallpapers, they had to go, and the landlord wasn't really happy for the wallpapers to go. But this right here was just supposed to be like a reception area, or you could have it as like a dining area, or just a random area. Really, it didn't have any specific function. But then this is what the living room was supposed to be. Again, a good amount of light entered, but what is this horrendous wallpaper? What is that? Like, I need answers, I really do. And even though the landlord wasn't happy to change the wallpaper to plain wall, he was happy to speak to his wife and see if that was something that we could do ourselves, but that would have just meant too much money that would need to pour into this property. But this is supposed to be the dining room, or whatever room you want it to be. Really, the architecture of this house isn't like specific, so I guess you could do whatever you want to make it work for you. This is the kitchen. Again, it didn't have a washer or dryer, so that meant we'd have to buy one. And again, I didn't feel like spending close to £1,000 to get a washer or dryer. but it had a dishwasher and it had a fridge freezer, but the fridge freezer was quite small, which is another thing that I didn't really like about this property. So right here, I'm just taking you into the utility room, and again you would see another room that I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. Again, that's supposed to be the space for the washer dryer, but it wasn't there. But this room, I don't know, is it supposed to be the master bed? Is it not supposed to be a master bed? I don't know what this room was supposed to be, but again, whatever architecture you want, whatever floor plan you want to do for the house, it is really possible for you to do. But I just wanted you guys to appreciate how much storage this house had. It was like really big, and it just had lots and lots of bits and bobs that you could like just chug things in. And that is the back garden. It was quite nice. I didn't actually fully go to explore the garden because the landlord was around and we ended up chatting for a bit. Anyways, moving on, we're moving into the bedroom area of the house. To be honest, I don't know the area of the house we're moving into, but we're moving somewhere. As we explore this house further, you just begin to appreciate the amount of random rooms that exist in the house, and it's because it's a GP surgery. But again, this is one of the rooms. I think upstairs would have been like really good for like the actual rooms that you want to live, and then downstairs would have been good for like office space and all of that. But it had this like Romeo and Juliet type of garden, and this is the first room. That is a small amount of storage, but I mean it does what it's supposed to do. You can chug a few clothes in there. And this is the next room that we're going into. Again, this one's a little bit small. I find that the rooms that were downstairs were just a bit bigger than all these rooms upstairs. But again, it does what it's supposed to do. It's a small room. And the third room that we're going to be seeing upstairs is this one. Again, it was about the same size, had a small bit of storage, and it was just about the same architecture as the rest of the rooms. But yeah, do you know what's funny is I actually thought that the architecture of this bathroom and toilet was a bit odd. Like, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do, but what is that steep staircase thing by the toilet? I don't get it. And to finish up the rooms in this house, we've got this one, which I think was supposed to be like a storage, like walking storage of some sort, because it was quite narrow for it to be a room, especially when compared to like the rest of the rooms in the property. The next house that we viewed is this bad boy right here, and this is the house that we eventually went with. This is what the living room looked like. It had a decent amount of storage, not too big and not too small. You see that shelf thing on the corner right there? That was a nice touch as well. And when you step out of the living room, then you get to see the guest toilet, which was really appreciated because it was just by the parlor. No one needs to be exploring all of your house because they want to use the toilet. And this is what the kitchen looked like. It was a really modern kitchen, and this is the landlady that I just said hello to. But again, this kitchen came with a lot of storage. Like, it had a ridiculous amount of storage. The kitchen was so bright and well lit, and I really appreciated the fact that it came part furnished. So if we wanted the furniture, the landlady was happy to leave everything exactly the way things were in the house. She was also happy to take things away if we didn't want anything. So I really appreciated that about the house. Plus the fact that it also came with 2 ovens. Now ask me why I need 2 ovens. I don't know, but there was a dishwasher and a dryer, and there was also a washing machine. Really lovely. But this was induction hob, which I'm not too sure how I feel about, but yeah. Moving on, this is what the study looked like. Really nice, especially for when I wanted to film YouTube videos. I thought it was going to be really helpful, and my TikTok videos as well. It also had a really nice amount of storage that the landlady is trying to show off with that. Moving upstairs, then we head into the bedrooms. Now this property was actually advertised as a 4-bedroom apartment, and it was on the market for £2,000, but you see that it's actually a 3-bedroom apartment with a study. And this is what one of the bedrooms looked like. It had a good amount of storage as well, and I'm really happy for that. And this is what the second bedroom looked like. That one was slightly bigger than the one that we just left. This is what the bedroom looked like. I think it's also really decent as well. Plus it also had this little storage thing that the landlord was trying to show us, so you could just keep a bunch of stuff in here, which was also another nice touch. And this right here is the master's bedroom, also really nice as well. Had a good amount of storage, which I really appreciate. And then there is that little corner where you could hide a bunch of stuff as well. This house in total had a good amount of storage, and I'm so happy for that because I think it's a really nice thing to have. Fortunately, this house only had one bathroom and toilet, but it is what it is. I guess you can't have everything that you want. The good thing about this bathroom and toilet though was the fact that all you needed to do was just press a button and dictate whether you wanted 37, 38 degrees water. It was ready for you. It also had a garden, although the garden was not as nice as the other gardens that we've been seeing, but it was still going to do what it was supposed to do. And it also had a garage, which was like a detached garage where she used for like storage as well. This, my darlings, is the last property that we viewed on our house hunting experience, and this one was on the market for £1,900 per month. This one was a 3-bedroom apartment. This is what the living room looked like, and this right here is the dining area. On this side, when you walk in, you walk into the kitchen. Unfortunately, this house didn't have any white goods whatsoever, and that included a fridge freezer, so we'd have to buy that. There was no washing machine, there was no dishwasher, there was no fridge freezer. You'd have to get everything that you wanted. This is the utility room, and that is the guest bathroom. Taking you upstairs, this is what the rest of the house looks like, but then there's this under the staircase storage thing that many houses have. I guess it's a nice touch, but let's go upstairs because that's where the magic really happens. Now, this is what the upstairs looks like. When you get in, this is what the master bedroom looks like. It has a small amount of storage, so if you wanted something extra, you'd have to buy like a cupboard or something to keep, but this was ensuite, and that is always a good thing to have. This is what the bathroom and toilet look like. I'm not even mad at it at all. Moving on to the rest of the house, let us take a look at the second. Oh, there's the boiler. I forgot about that for a split second, but this is what the second room looks like. It's pretty much the same architecture all around. It has the inbuilt storage, and the sizes of the room are fairly similar. Only difference is just the fact that the masters had the ensuite, but then the rest of them don't. And this is the family bathroom. Again, same potato. It looks the same as about every other house that we've seen. And the third and final room, which was this one. Again, like I mentioned, this house was on the market for £1,900 a month. So guys, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you think about all the houses we saw? I really do wish that we ended up going with the first house because I was so in love with that house. Unfortunately, we failed the referencing. If you guys want to know more about why we failed the referencing, then you guys should watch my things I wish I knew before I moved into the UK video. That video is going to be linked up in the cards or down in the description box. I went into details about why we failed the referencing and how we're able to get our holding deposit back, even though they tried to scam us and tell us that we couldn't get our holding deposit back. But I really love that house, and I wish we went with that house. I am very happy with the house we eventually chose. Because to be honest, out of everything else, that was just the one that stood out to me, and that was the one that seemed to work best for us. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.